Thanks. May is both National Stroke Awareness Month and Hypertension Awareness Month, but you may not know that the two are really related. So Lucas Schubert from St. Luke's Health System is here to explain between these two is sodium, and what are the health effects of a high sodium diet?
Yeah, so sodium and a diet high in sodium we know puts us at risk for hypertension or high blood pressure, which then can ultimately lead to stroke. So diets that are high in sodium really are what we need to be concerned about and concerned about our sodium intake. So really the recommended is going to be no more than 2,300 milligrams in one daily serving. And then, ideally for maximum health, less than 1,500.
Wow.
So unfortunately, what a lot of us tend to do is we remove the salt shaker from our diet. We think that's a great way to reduce sodium, and it is, but really over 70% of our sodium intake comes from prepackaged, prepared restaurant foods.
It's sneaky.
It is very sneaky, all that sodium that's in there. So we need to be doing more than just get rid of the salt shaker.
Sure.
So these are some common foods that have a lot of sodium in them that we can, by looking at and understanding, really reduce our sodium content. So we'll start off sandwiches. So it's really like accumulation of ingredients that start to add up where it's sodium content. So the bread, the deli meat, the cheese, the condiments, all of that starts to really increase the amount of sodium in there.
And the bread is surprising. You don't think of bread as really being something high sodium. You think of potato chips, of course, and maybe pepperoni, for example, but bread.
Yeah, it's really just in the baking process that they have to add a lot of sodium there. And then also chicken products. So we know like chicken fingers and chicken nuggets, those just breaded are going to have a lot of sodium in them. But even our frozen chicken breasts, skinless chicken breasts, in order to preserve them, they add a lot of sodium to them.
Wow.
So even those we need to be concerned about. A couple hundred milligrams just in one chicken breast.
And you think, hey, I'm getting chicken. It's healthy. Wow.
Yeah, so really, and that's their preserving factors that they use in order to make the chicken breast. Other things like soup. So pre-canned or pre-containered soup are sodium. So I want you to take a guess just in this sodium right here, or this package.
I have an idea because I do look at my sodium intake. I'm going to say 800 milligrams.
So in this one container is 1,580. Yes.
I thought I was going high by saying 800.
So that's your maximum amount. No, and so this is something that we really want to look at the labels to make sure that we're not getting a lot.
That's over your daily allowance for healthy diet.
It is. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And then other things like pizza, burritos, again, the accumulation of different ingredients, the crust, pepperoni, cheese, sauce, all of that, goodness in there. But, there are some ways that we can really, reduce our sodium, just trying to, really create it ourselves. Doing, homemade meals can really reduce the sodium content. The reason that they have to add so much sodium is to preserve them and keep them fresh. So if we're making them, fresh at home, we're already reducing a lot of the sodium content that way.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, but even small steps, maybe changing out one meal that you usually eat out or use a packaged meal.
Yep, just recognizing that these types of foods contain a lot of sodium, and so trying to find other ways to get that food.
That's good advice. What about the stuff that's like low sodium? Which of those things would you recommend? I mean, I see chicken stock that has low sodium.
Yeah.
Are those then filled with other preservatives that I need to be worried about too?
They could be, but really it's going to be the sodium that they've just removed. So the flavor will definitely be different.
Sure.
But whenever you're using, say, stock or other sauces or ingredients, soy sauce, you should be flavoring. You can flavor with other herbs and spices to reduce or to change that flavor and to make it taste great. So again, that's a really good point. Just choosing low sodium type foods are going to be really helpful for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much. And Lucas leads the Food as Medicine Everyday classes at St. Luke's. If you want to take a class, you can sign up on stlukeskc.org. And I've heard great things about your classes, so I've heard that people really learn a lot. So.